Good evening. Tonight I'll be discussing the liberation belief of the afterlife, and particularly its effect on African Americans. In this video, I will argue that the liberation belief in the afterlife is one of the main reasons African Americans were so resilient during slavery, and the feeling of liberation has carried on for hundreds of years throughout generations of colored people up to the present day. So, what I mean by that is that slaves came here in 1619, and we came here with nothing. We were considered less, not equal, all of the above. And with that being said, when we came here, all our religious beliefs have been ripped from us, and we were forced into Christianity, but not necessarily in a equal way. We were still looked upon as less, so we were not equal in the church. We did not get to sit in the church or participate in organized church activities. We had to sit in the tops. We were not allowed to read the Bibles. Reading was against the law. You could be hung or beaten, so if you were caught reading a Bible. So we didn't have a structured belief in Christ. But a lot of people did adapt to Christ's lifestyle. And that's where the four gifts of the African American Holy Spirit come in. It's recognized widely throughout the African American community. The gifts such as spontaneous, holistic, contemplation, and joy. Those are all things that we found in Christianity, or that we created within Christianity. And you can still see carried out throughout this day how holistic we are with our bodies, and contemplative and spontaneous, even in prayer and church, if you go to a Baptist church, or just things of that sort. And also, liberation begins in the present and is to come to completion in the afterlife, said the atheist guy. And I would like to use that as a point of saying liberation begins in the present. With that being said, African Americans knew that they were worth more, and that they deserved more, and they deserved to be treated equally, equal education, be able to drink from any water fountain, and vote. So they began the Civil Rights Movement, which was a peaceful movement organized by the church, Dr. Martin Luther King, and other church officials and participants. And also the Black Lives Matter movement, which is a more recent movement within the United States. And that's just to say that Black lives matter more than other lives, but that they matter equally as much as other lives. And those are two great examples of how liberation has started in the present, and my ancestors believe that they will be liberated within the heavens as well. So, suffer here, be saved later. And someone with a vengeance belief could object to this, like someone like Nezatek could say that what we really are out for is blood, and that we want to see our enemies suffer and burn in hell. But we just go about it in this way as to pretend that we're after justice. And I would rebuttal that by saying that liberation starts here on earth and is completed in heaven. Again, saying that peaceful protests such as the Civil Rights movement, they had sit-ins where they just sat and no violence has taken place. And I believe also if that was the case that there could have been an overturn, not necessarily in slavery, but within, like there could have been a revolt within the African American people. So to say that we were really out for blood, I think that if we were really out for blood, then we would really be out for blood. So in conclusion, I would like to say that a liberation belief is something that's deeply rooted within myself. Like my grandmama is Catholic. She grew up in the Catholic Church. She went to Little Flower in Philadelphia, and she's very strong in her faith. But it's still something about, I see a difference in her Catholic faith than I do in the Catholic faith that I view or I'm a part of here in Newman, or that when I go back to O'Hara's Mass, and it's just completely different. Like it's a lot different. Being liberated when you suffer so much on earth. Sometimes I think you don't have a choice, or well, you do. You could choose to just be miserable, but it's easier to have hope into something that's greater than what you're achieving on here on earth, or what you know you can achieve. To know that you're not just going to suffer here and just suffer. So, yeah.